Well, isn't this interesting? It looks like after a little bit of poking around on Reddit, I came across something that I thought I figured I needed to share with all y'all, because there has been way too much time spent debating and doing it in good faith. And I'm making this video to let you know that you really need to think twice before engaging. Truly. We're going to go through something that I found on Reddit. We're decoding MAGA. Yes, that's right. If you know what I mean, stick around. You might learn something. If you don't know what I mean, well, check this out. You see that? Engage. Demand an elaborate, time-consuming comparison analysis between your position and theirs. Entangle. Insist that the liberal put their posts in their own words. That will consume the most time and effort for the liberal poster. They will be unable to spread numerous points on numerous blogs if you have them occupied, and allowing a liberal to post a web link is too quick and efficient for them. Well, I realize they are going for a delay of game, and when you post this link, well, this completely defeats what they're trying to go for. So, welcome to page 1 of why you should never debate in good faith with MAGA. Because they have zero, and I do mean zero, interest in trying to debate you in good faith. As we continue through this, you'll see that this point is made more and more and more. As it said in the previous one, dismiss their narrative as rubbish. Immediately. Do not even read it. Because once the liberal goes through the trouble to research, gather, collate, compose, write their narrative, because we actually do give a good goddamn about facts, and these kind of things are important because it's lies that causes democracy to fade. Because obviously, as you can see, it says, make it obvious that you toss their labor-intensive narrative aside like garbage. This will have an effect of demoralizing the liberal poster. That is 100% correct, because then you ask yourself, why even bother? And then you refuse to engage, and they win after taking up so much of your time. It says it will make them unwilling to expend the effort again. And for us, that's a net win. Exactly what I said. Once somebody becomes so exhausted, that's a win on their side. As that also says, attack the source. Any liberal website or information source must be marginalized, trivialized, and discounted. It doesn't matter if you bring the facts or not. It will be turned down. And that's one of the big reasons that I've refused to debate MAGA in good faith anymore. Now that I've seen that they genuinely have zero desire to do this, then you're literally not only wasting your time, but you're literally giving them the reaction that they want by getting frustrated. Now, as it said, discredit liberal sources of information whenever possible. And then to confuse. Interesting. Confuse. Challenge the liberal position with questions, always questions. The questions need not be relevant. The goal is to knock the liberal poster off their game and seize control of the narrative. Once you have control, you can direct the narrative to where you want to go, which is always away from letting the liberal make their point. Conversely, do not respond to their leading questions. Don't rise to their bait. This is why it's important, if you're watching this video, that you know either A, we got your number, motherfucker, or B, this is the time when you ask what's called a fact-laden question. You know the answer to it, but you ask the question because anybody else that reads the question can learn the fact. When they say anything about, for example, the border, that's when you say, is that why Trump called into the Senate and the House and said to reject that border bill because he wanted to run on it as a campaign issue? See? You ask the question, you put the fact in there. This completely throws off this strategy that we just recently pointed out. As we said, they say don't rise to their bait. Do anything you must to prevent a liberal poster from presenting a well-reasoned argument for starting a civil discussion. See, the idea is not to engage in good faith, ever. As they say, don't allow a liberal to present their dogma unchallenged ever, as in facts, as in actual numbers and data and anything that is actual real life, Earth One shit. They have to ensure that you instantly think that it's fake, because then their gaslighting works. And then they can just leave you open to whatever narrative they wish. So, it's right here. Intimidate as well. It's funny because over Thanksgiving, it was how many Democratic members of the House received threats of violence towards their family at their residence, not their office, at their residence. It's almost like I see a pattern. Taunt the liberals if you find yourself in a debate with a liberal and you're losing fact-based argument, which they will. Then call them a name to derail their diatribe. Now, how many times have you been a part of this? Remember, your goal is to prevent a meaningful exchange of views and ideas which may portray liberalism in a positive light, because they know that liberalism is what, when you actually talk to people about policy, they actually like liberal policies. It's just our branding sucks. Luckily, this new brand of liberalism, well, we're not taking any shit. Now, mind you, they're saying that your goal as a conservative blogger is to keep up on other posts for vulnerabilities you can exploit and stay on the offense. Don't let up. Insult their movement. Assign as many character and moral flaws to liberals as possible. As you can see, it doesn't matter if you try to debate in good faith. Here's some of the names right here that they will always try to refer to try to throw you off the game. Right there. Here's their playbook. See these names? See how many times you've probably seen them before? This is why. And another reason why probably is that lower your guard a bit. How do you lower their guard? Identify yourself as a moderate, centrist, or independent. It will cause liberals to lower their guard a bit, which gives you an effective opening. This may also have the effect of aligning conservative viewpoints with the real moderates we are attempting to reach. So, anytime you've ever heard anyone say, "Oh, I'm centrist," I'm not really. No, they're lying to you. They're for the right. And if they say they aren't, they're going to need to prove it. Because right here, this is their playbook. It may serve to influence some moderates over to the Republican side. Patriotism, always claim the high ground of pro-military, low taxes, strong defense, morality, and religion. We own those virtues. Learn how to exploit them when debating. I am a veteran. And a bunch of the motherfucking mouth breathers that I've debated, they wouldn't have made it through boot camp. The facts remain. They're always going to try to exploit morality. And I think really one of the most important things that we're taking away from here is we've seen these examples over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And you wonder why? Why is it always the same? Well, here's why. As we roll into here where it says demean, make liberalism appear as a moral turpitude or a character flaw. They're to never be referred to as the Democratic Party. At best, it is the Democrat Party. Never assign them respect and opportunity. Be alert for ways to insert our catchphrases into your narrative. You'll receive your daily list of talking points and topics that we want you to cover. Let's read that again. You will receive your daily list of talking points and topics that we want you to cover. In case you're wondering why misinformation is the way it is, consistent, persistent repetition and inculcation will drive our talking points home. And so will pro-linguistic programming. Stick with it. And I didn't put the rest, but stick with it and our talking points will win. So there it is. There's the entire playbook. And in case you were wondering why it is that you've had to deal with this horse shit over and over and over anytime you try to have any kind of social debate, well, now you got your answer. Go to skipfranzjr.net for podcasts.
Fresh record player that, I could just spin records all the time.
Run into the bathroom and I'm covered in blood. Like I had put my tooth through my bottom lip.
For music? For gaming and pro-liberty game rants? That's skipfranzjr.net.